Sorry.
Tonight was a clearly orchestrated attack by loyalist paramilitaries. Attacked these houses behind me with a volley of petrol bombs. The people who are responsible for this are sick, minded savages.
Multiple petrol bombs were thrown. Because there'd been heavy stone throwing on the 12th, there were major holes in our roofs, and the petrol bombs percolated through that and devastated our house more or less totally, you know.
Unionist councillor Sammy Wilson.
The very pensioners' bungalows that were attacked last night were used as a launching pad by Republicans last Wednesday to against the parade going up the Newton Ards Road, and in fact the roofs were torn off some of those homes.
This theme of aggressor blaming the victim is all too common within the unionist politic. The home of these Protestant pensioners in Madrid Street was petrol bombed, not by nationalists but by loyalists, and used to justify a vicious strike against Catholic pensioners several nights later. Loyalist pogroms against a small, isolated community are nothing new. Situated in East Belfast in the shadow of Harlan and Wolff's giant twin cranes, a Catholic population of 3,000 is surrounded by 90,000 Unionists. Discrimination, demonization, and sectarian violence have affected Short Strand since the formation of the state. The worst attack on the area occurred in June 1970. Only months previously, the B Specials and Loyalist gunmen had shot and burned their way through several streets on the Falls Road.
Bombay Street was burning. And it was like a scene from the Second World War. It seemed as if a massive bomb had gone off, and everyone was in flames, and everyone was terrified, frightened, not knowing what was going to happen next.
Short Strand's turn came in June 1970.
The very heavy firing coming from this other side, and they were throwing those lads on the roof, and they were throwing petrol bombs onto the ground and into the green heat, and they were coming a bit closer. As it was getting worse, we knew we'd have to do something about it. So we sent over to the Falls Road, and we got some men over and some material to help to defend the area.
Throughout the 1970s and 80s, Loyalist assassins have continually targeted this area. At one stage, every bar and club had been bombed at least once. 6 residents died in the Strand Bar in 1975. Altogether, over 30 civilians from Short Strand have died at the hands of Loyalist murder gangs. Isolated and cut off from the rest of Belfast by the River Lygon, the people of Short Strand have turned to each other in times of strife. A close-knit, almost village-like community in which almost every resident are not only on first-name terms with each other, but with the grandparents and grandchildren of their neighbors. Before the present troubles, there was always considerable intersocial activity within Protestant East Belfast, resulting in a high ratio of mixed marriages. Clandeboy Estate alone has more than 1/4 of its householders involved in mixed relationships. Political conflict down the years has brought with it recurring tensions between the Short Strand and its Protestant neighbors. The ritual violence accompanying the Protestant marching season has heightened over the past years as Portadown Orange Lodges demand to march down the Galbraith Road. Loyalist anger at the Parade's Commission refusal to allow a Protestant parade through a nationalist area has resulted in increased violence and intimidation. Community leaders in East Belfast have worked hard to keep a grip on this situation, and until May of this year were regarded by other interface workers across Belfast as having the best network and working relationships of them all. But on the night of May 11th, communications between the two communities were unilaterally shut down by interface workers on the Protestant side. Representatives within the Protestant community refused to reopen contacts and instead seemed intent on escalating the situation.
What was it? Mike, what was that you had in his hand? Was it a shame? Bastards, these are all cameras! Mom! Oh my God! You're not united.
They're breaking up in front of them, Peter.
Something happened.
Get that clearly in camera.
Early on the evening of Friday the 31st of May, Loyalist youths equipped with a hydraulic lift erected flags in front of St. Matthew's Catholic Chapel, and even more provocatively, alongside the pensioners' bungalows they had burnt out the year before. And with the PSNI once more standing idly by, the situation rapidly escalated into a full-scale riot.
Stay, stay, stay!
Don't bust the one! Don't bust the one! Don't shit, don't bust the one!
The Loyalist protagonists upped the ante with bursts of gunfire and blast bombs. St. Matthew's Chapel was surrounded by upwards of 200 assailants. The attack lasted for 2 hours before settling down to an uneasy calm.
What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs.
While Protestant youths fired hundreds of ball bearings at Catholic houses in Strand Walk, prominent Loyalist paramilitaries from across Belfast mingled openly with local politicians and clergy and exchanged small talk with the PSNI and British Army on the Newtownards Road.
Last night I heard the screaming, loud voices behind the wall.
Around 11:30 p.m. at the other end of the area, Loyalist paramilitaries took over Clewin Place, a small cul-de-sac on the outskirts of Short Strand, and launched a full-scale attack on homes in the Catholic Clandeboye estate. As the handful of residents battled to defend their homes, the PSNI in full riot gear descended upon the area. Heavily armed police held residents captive in their own gardens as an increasing barrage of missiles rained down on them from Clewin Place, smashing windows and roof tiles. The attack continued until 5 a.m. when Loyalists erected a large sound system and played anti-Catholic music into the area. The PSNI refused to respond to any of this. The continued reluctance of the PSNI to respond to this naked Loyalist aggression is primarily the cause of the subsequent 4 months of physical and mental persecution endured by this community. To the bewilderment and anger of residents, heavily armed PSNI members have faced them down while Loyalist paramilitaries from across Belfast have been allowed to assemble in Clewin Place each night and to continue